next in line is Tonmoy Goswami. We're talking about the story of Storypick.
Before this guy comes on stage, tell me what he looks like, man. When I saw this picture, he looked like that guy out of that 300 movie, you know. The guy who's gonna kill everybody and kill all those big monsters and blah blah blah. Spartan, right? Boom.
Tonmoy, Ajo. This is part of our inspiring stories. So Tonmoy has been a rodinhooder for at least 2 years now, and he used to post these kind of comics on the rodinhoods. So what I normally do is on a Monday after a long day, I try to share a comic on the rodinhoods, and I would tweet it. So about a couple of months ago, I tweeted it, and I checked out his Twitter handle. I said, what is this guy up to nowadays? You know, like he's sort of vanished, fallen off a cliff. And it said, co-founder at Storypick. And I was blown away. I follow Storypick, obviously it's a content site, an amazing site. And I couldn't believe it. I said, I know every rodinhood story and I have not heard of his story, which means that this guy and his co-founder and his 5 team members did nothing but build for 15 months and didn't talk about it. Hear his story.
First of all, a confession. I've heard a lot of you guys are banyas. I'm not a banya, okay? And so if you're like me, I don't know. I don't think like Alok. So this PPT will blow your mind away. So before we get into the mind-blowing stuff, I want to show you something. Last year, in March 17th, The Hindu ran a story on the Ugly Indian. If you know what the Ugly Indian is, it's a group of volunteers who do social work in Bangalore. So they ran a beautiful story. It got 1247 shares. Pretty good, pretty well for Hindu. It was a good read. And the very next day on Storypick, we were just 3 months old then. We did the same story, same content, but in our own style. And the number of shares we got was around 800, 2800, 62,800. We got 1,62,800 shares. Same content. So I want to thank Asha and everyone here. The thing is, I'm a small fry. I mean, Ashwin and Alok and everyone, you're big shots. I just want to share what I have learned in this 15 months of building Storypick with you guys, because I have been a lurker on the Rodinhoods. I have read all of your posts, so I'll just share what I have learned with you, and maybe you can use it. And I mean, you must be wondering, can I do this with my startup? Can I make my startup, my app, my idea, my business as viral as a Storypick article, or as sexy as a Storypick article? I can say yes, you can, and the answer is yes. I mean, everyone can and everyone should. And the thing at stake is, if you cannot do this, you're going to fade away. I mean, that's the brutal reality. So I've conveniently named this in pure Storypick style the 3 reasons why startups should have sex. And I'm pretty sure you're going to remember this when you go home, because it's very simple. It's sex, right? It's very simple. So I'll tell you. So one question, do you want me to tell what sex is, or you want me to go step by step?
Step by step.
Step by step? I see.
We don't know.
You like it slow and steady? Yeah, that's my style. So, okay. We'll go step by step. So step 1, what is the S? The first reason is S. That is, you have to support your competitors. You don't believe me? See, the thing is, the other day, one of my teammates, she came to me hurriedly, and she told me that, Tonmoy, you want to help me? I said, yeah, tell me what's wrong. She says that her ex-boss has called her, and she has quit her job, and she had started a similar e-magazine which is not similar to Storypick, and she wants information about how we do stuff, where we get our videos from, where we get our images from, how we write our titles, how many people are there in the company, how we work, and all the secrets. So she was like freaked out. She freaked out and she told, say, I'm at work, I'll call you later. So then I said, so what's the problem? She said, okay, come on, don't kid me. I mean, what should I tell her? Because she is my ex-boss, I don't want to hamper the relationship also, I don't want to let out the secrets also. I said, see, no, you have to tell, you have to support her, you have to tell her how we do stuff. She said, why? Because see, the thing is, we miss the obvious things. Because the thing is, when your app, your product, or your website, or your startup starts doing well, starts getting traction, there'll be competitors, there'll be clones out there who will try to imitate you, will try to come up with ideas, and you have to empower them. You know why? Because, for example, Storypick, I have like 5 employees. I can do only a limited thing with those many number of employees in my team. I can find only say 10 videos a day. So when I empower my smaller competitors, they work for me. They build a feature. For example, they find YouTube videos for me and we pick up the videos. Since they don't have the traction, we get all the applause. In your product, suppose when you're building an app, suppose there's a competitor who has come up with a similar app. So most of the times I've seen that competitors, when they or the clones will come up with something interesting, probably a button there, probably something that is working for them, which your team or you might have not thought about. So you just copy them. See, they steal your idea, you steal the features. The thing is very simple, and you'll have to do that. I mean, if someone says that this is unethical, you're gonna do that, where you're copying features, you just tell them, boss, your opinion does not pay my bills. Okay? So, this is S, you know. Second is E for emotion. This is my favorite. The philosopher Aristotle, he said, when you have to persuade someone, there has to be 3 arguments in a speech. Many of you know, it's called ethos, pathos, and logos. So what does it mean? So ethos is the ethical appeal. So who is trying to persuade you? When I'm trying to persuade you, you know, because I have built Storypick, so he might know something about virality. When Alok is telling you about games, he is credible. So his ethos, ethical appeal is there. You need not question that. So that is ethical appeal. The second is the logos. Logos means, does it appeal to my brain? What are the facts and statistics? I mean, you are just telling me, why should I trust you? What are the facts proving that you are saying something actually matters? And the most important part is pathos, that is emotional appeal. So, does it appeal to my brain? I mean, does it appeal to my heart? I mean, is your message touching enough? So what most people don't get is, they think that this is not important. I'm building a data analytic app for the food tech industry, that my backend is super awesome and I'm going to kill all the competitors. No one is going to care. If you're not going to appeal emotionally, no one is going to buy your product. I'll tell you, it's a very simple way. So everyone will tell you, so okay, you'll have to maintain a subtle balance between ethos, pathos and logos, but how to do it? How we do it? I'll tell you.
You know whose triangle that is?
Who
invented that?
Aristotle? Yeah.
You mentioned it?
Yeah. So it's very simple. There are 4 organs of communication. Very simple, very simple. When you're talking about sex, there'll be organs. So don't mind. So the first is head. So we'll talk from the top, the head, the analytical brain. So what you are trying to communicate about your app, about your business, about your startup, does it appeal to me? What are the facts and figures? Second is the heart. So people who think from the heart are passionate, are emotional, are sentimental, are crippled with love. They think from the heart. So it's way from it has a distance from the head. Then we go down the gut. The gut tells you about humor, about instinct, about when people say gut feeling. It's far from the brain. You don't really know when you laugh at a joke. There's no logic behind it. You just know it's funny. So it's a gut feeling. And next is the groin. So the groin area, these organs have no logic in it. You are miles away from your head. I mean, they don't have any logic. And there are millions of men and women who have destroyed their lives maybe in passion of these organs or the sex appeal, if you say. So the bottom line is, it's very simple. This is the secret sauce of Storypick or every persuasive speech. You always speak bottom up, not top down. So what it means is, do you remember when Steve Jobs introduced the MacBook Air? he didn't speak about a technical specification. He didn't speak about how thin it is. He didn't speak about how wafer thin or what is the technical specification or how good is the retina display. What he did is, he told that we are going to introduce the thinnest laptop in the world, and it fits in an office envelope. And he went down the stage. There were some envelopes lying. He picked up an envelope. He came on stage again. He pulled out the MacBook Air out of an envelope, and people got goosebumps. People say, wow, he appealed to the gut, he appealed to the heart. People say, I don't care what the specification is, I'm buying that thing. Then he told the technical specification. Because you'll also have to add in the analytics. I mean, emotional drama, you cannot be just Arnab Goswami. You'll have to put in the analytics also. So no, Arnab does a good, I mean, he matches, he catches the attention, he speaks to your gut, to your heart, and then he puts in some facts and figures. But when he loses it, he doesn't put any facts and figures. So, so this is how, and I have heard many, I've told this to many people, this is very obvious. Many people say that my app is so technical. I mean, you are from Storypick, you can make articles emotional or stuff like that. You can, my thing is for banks, it cannot be sexy. So I tell you to search or Google a person's name. His name is Richard Feynman. That is Richard Feynman, F-E-Y-N-M-A-N. Richard Feynman, I think he pronounced Feynman, was a physicist in California Institute of Technology. Okay, he was a Nobel Prize winner. He was in the founding team of the atomic bomb. He also played drums. So why am I telling you about Richard? Because he used to teach physics, and non-physics majors used to sneak into his classroom to listen to his lectures. Why? Because he used to put in emotion, put in that kind of appeal to physics, so that even people who are not interested in physics, that day I was searching and I was looking at his video on YouTube, you can Google him. I know the law of gravity, but I sat there and listened to his lecture on laws of gravity for 1 straight hour. I mean, it's that captivating and that's persuasive. So whoever says that my product is not sexy enough to be portrayed, to have emotion in it, just think of Richard Feynman. So, emotion. And one beautiful example I'd like to give here is, don't treat your users as if they are barcode readers. You know what this means? A barcode reader knows the price of everything, but the value of nothing. You know, when I go to suppose there is a 25 rupees notebook. So the price is 25 rupees. But if I tell you that that notebook was my last gift from my dead grandmother, the value becomes completely different. And that's when it appeals to your emotion. It is not analytic, it's still, the price is still 25 rupees, but it is much more valuable. So we have S, we have E, let's move on is X. So what is X? So we have learned maths. X is the shortest distance between A and B. So what is A and B? Suppose I say Alok is a Storypick fan. So I know him. He is my first level of fans that I know. So he is browsing his Facebook feed. So he sees an article on Facebook, a Storypick article that comes up. So he clicks on it. He clicks on it and comes to our website. Okay, he comes there. So now it's our responsibility, it's my responsibility to make sure that Alok shares it to his friends. It's like replicating word of mouth publicity. So like if I am able to reach Alok's friend Asha and Asha's friend someone else, then I'm able to replicate word of mouth in digitally. So X is the distance. So in our case, 1 click, Alok goes here, 1 share, I reach to Asha. So there is click and share, 2 actions. So if you are making it difficult for him, if I remove the share buttons, it is difficult for Alok to share this thing with Asha. So your responsibility should always be to make this distance lesser. So why do you think Ola or Uber or everyone else provide you referral bonus like 600 rupees, 300 rupees to share their or share your rides with your friends? Because they want to replicate this word of mouth publicity in digital. So this becomes tricky when you scroll down. When you scroll down, the share buttons are way on the top or way on the bottom. So what do? So to make it very intuitive, we have placed a floating bar. So the floating bar, even if he is at point number 4, he doesn't want to read all the 13 points, so you can share it quickly, directly from there. So we are just making, suppose for example, there's an app. Suppose you have an app, and what are the steps? There's a link, you go to Play Store, someone downloads it. So you have acquired a customer, that is level 1. Suppose say that's Alok. But you want to reach more people. We are talking about scale here. So it's your responsibility that you will have to make sure that Alok shares your app with other people, and that same thing should replicate, and so that you should reach Roger Federer maybe. As people say, there are 6 degrees of separation to anyone. You can reach anyone. And we have reached Roger Federer. I mean, Roger Federer has retweeted Storypick's article. How cool is that? So I'll come back with, I mean, now you know what the SENX stands for. Now you can go home and have sex with your startup. But to wrap it up, I'll tell you, coming back to the ugly Indian story, why do you think it worked? Why do you think it performed so tremendously when compared to the Hindu article? I'll tell you, a backstory would help. I mean, a background information about what the ugly Indian is. The ugly Indian is a group of IT professionals in Bangalore who I mean, in their weekends, they spot a place which is dirty, which is filled with rubbish, which is filled with urine stench, which is filled with pan stains on the wall, with broken pavements. And what they do is, they go there and they completely transform the place. As you can see, this was completely a disastrous place where they transformed it into, they put benches, they put public toilets also, and they do it all for free. I mean, the thing is, this whole story had such an emotional appeal that the Hindu did a good work of reporting it. I mean, they thought it was a news worth reporting, and we thought it was a story worth telling. So that's exactly what we did. I mean, what we did is we put before and after pictures of what the spot actually was and what it looked after it. And we put up their logo. Their logo is Kaam Chalu Muh Band. We put it in big red letters. We did that. And you know what? People reacted. You know why people reacted? Because these pictures appeal to your eyes, appeal to your analytical brains. These pictures appeal, you know, okay, these are the facts, I can see it for myself. The message that these people are anonymous, they don't want their names or faces to come up anywhere because they are so selflessly working for a society. It touched people's heart. It touched people's heart. And your gut feeling, it hits the gut. When you go through the article, it hits the gut. It tells you, it whispers to your brain, says that, why are you sitting there? Stand up and do something. You know that's the power of persuasion that you'll have to, when I'm talking about, when you scale, I mean, that's how we actually reached from 0 to 20 million visits per month and counting. So that's what I wanted to share. If you want to connect, if you want to know more tips, if you want to have sex, I can be, I mean, with startups, I can be reached here.
Really fast questions. We're really running behind time. Mohul from Noida.
Mohul from Tihar jail.
Yeah, I guess maybe you make good use of ethos, emotion, I guess.
Loud
Ethos.
Ethos is ethical living. Emotion is pathos.
Yeah, but the last part, logos, is actually missing from your post articles.
From our article means this one.
Yeah, not in this one, but in presentation.
Logos is that appeals to your brain for logic. So, for example, this one.
No. I'm just trying to share my opinion on the quality of posts which Storypick has actually in general. So that was another thing. The biggest issue was why you don't give the appropriate credit to the source. For example, you have picked my own post, like my own on Edit India, and you didn't give any, credit to something. India has also given a post and they have made the reference. So I guess every time you make posts, it's a good thing that you are posting very cool stuff, But at the end, the original creator, original poster, or the original person who in the two dots, in the position from A to B, less shorter. You should,
Exactly, it's given. You tell me which article is there.
Just
We
go
make
on
sure.
Google.com and search Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Mercedes in a bag of a bus, in a bag of a EMTC bus.
Okay, I don't remember. The thing is, we always give.
There are more examples as well. I can give you around 18, 19 examples.
I love that.
I
love that. But the thing is, we always give image source. We always give article source. We even give, even if when we embed YouTube videos, we give video source, even if it is not required. But I think there must be a certain thing that you might have missed. You should have sent an email just to me, to contact or someone else, and it would have been included. That's not a big deal. That happens every day. And the thing is, you think that our articles does not appeal logically. The Hindu article and the article we did was for the same content.
Tonmoy, what he's saying is very fundamental, right?
Yeah.
You cannot have people writing to you and saying, give me, Asha's, we have been very angry with people who have robbed Rodinhood content, and we just tell them to pull it down. We don't even want that charity of backlink. It's etiquette.
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, do you do it or you don't?
We don't do it. Whenever.
These are live backlinks?
Sorry?
These are live backlinks?
These are live backlinks that are in different color. It's in orange so that people know that it's a backlink.
So Mohul, let's get this sorted, right? You need to get credit for all your stuff.
He tagged me and I tagged him.
Okay,
We'll get
good.
it sorted.
So we'll get it sorted. At least the least we can do is get Mohul Ghosh's backlinks.
One question for you. You have over 70% bounce rate as of now. Right? So how do you intend to counter that fact? Because we are looking for people who would spend time on your, if I want to write an article, I want to share my product on your Storypick, or I want to promote something, I'd like people to read it, not just click on it. So if a 70% bounce rate, I'm getting 30% of people reading it, and the demographic who is reading it. Seeing the 13 to 19% age group is reading it, which is not my buyer group. My buyer group lasts from 21 to 35. So can you just shed light on it?
Yeah, see, the thing is how things work differently in social is, as I told you, it goes from level to level. An article is on its own, it has a life of its own. The bounce rate is high because people click on it, they read it, they share it with their friend, and they leave the website. And the next time we try to acquire a customer again. And how? I'm telling you, the X, we give them links of our social feeds, they like on Facebook, we acquire a customer on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, but not, if they're not spending time, if they're not clicking on another article on while reading the main article. As I said, Alok came to an article, he shared it with Asha. Our motive there is done. Even if he does not read another article and he goes off reading just a single article, the bounce rate is 100%. Because that doesn't, we'll get it, there are other ways, we'll get Alok back again with a different article, because each article has a life of its own.
So did you share 70% bounce? Is it Alexa? What are you looking at? How did you get that data? Alexa.
Alexa.
Is it 70%, honestly?
No.
What is it?
It's less than that. It's less than that.
It was a number, right?
It'll be around 55, 56,
yeah, I think
something.
Alexa's inflated.
Yeah.
But his point is he doesn't care. In one
sentence. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Tonmoy.